Hello class. Today we will learn about Genderlect styles of Deborah Tanning. Deborah Tanning is a university professor and a professor of linguistics at the Georgetown University and author of many books and articles about how the language of everyday conversation affects relationships. She is best known as the author of You Just Don't Understand, Women and Men in Conversations, which was one of the New York Times bestsellers for nearly 4 years, including 8 months at #1. As she's been translated into 31 languages. This is the book that brought gender differences into communication style to the forefront of public awareness. Her most recent book, You Were Always Mom's Favorite, Sisters in Conversations Throughout Their Lives, also a New York Times bestseller, received the Book for a Better Life Award and was featured on 2020 and NPR's Morning Edition. What is Genderlect? Genderlect is the term that masculine and feminine styles of disclosure are best viewed as two distinct cultures and dialects. Genderlect communication is a theory that focuses on the different styles of communication that both male and female process, while neither style is better or less than the other. It shows how masculine and feminine communication differs drastically and how both are unique in its settings. Deborah Tanning's beliefs. A pause in the wrong place, an annotation misunderstood, and the whole conversation goes wrong. Compare styles. Deborah Tanning compares styles of boys and girls in 2nd grade as two different species. She also described men and women as speaking in different words from different worlds. Even though they use the same term, they are tuned to different frequencies. Tannen states that women desire connection with others, while men seek out for conversing with. Tannen states that women desire connection with others, while seek that out with. Tannen states that women desire connection with others and will seek that out with conversing with others, whereas men desire boosting their status within their social world. Though Tannen admits that these desires of both genders are not always what is being sought, it is generally the main goal. Feminine communication expresses the emotion and personal feelings women have and how women will relate their own experiences with others. When another individual asks for advice, women generally always listen to whomever they are with, very carefully, and offer acknowledgement throughout the conversation. In a public setting, women tend to speak less because they are more comfortable in a private setting. Women will also ask a lot of questions, establish connection with others. These traits of feminine communications are known as rapport talk. Masculine communications differ greatly. Men generally act with competitive nature when interacting with others. They will often tell jokes and make fun of each other as a way to show status. When listening to someone talk, men will avoid interrupting as they see it as a power move and will not offer any cues to indicate that they are listening. Men in a public arena tend to talk more and their feminine counterparts and will often speak in a way of lecturing the crowd. This gives the man the one-up in the position, demonstrating that they are the ones in control. These traits of masculine communications are known as rapport talk. These are some more of Tannen's beliefs on the slide. Tannen believes that men and women speak differently from each other. Each sex speaks in different dialect from one another. Tannen believes although these desires are not always what they seek for, it is generally the main goal. Men use rapport talk. They desire status among others. Generally seeks for status among others. Women use rapport talk. Desire connection with others. Generally seeks for connection with others. On the slide you will see report versus report. Rapport. According to Frank Berger, an Ohio's Oregon State professor, rapport is best described as a quality in a relation or connection between interactants, especially in relations marked by harmony, conformity, accord, and affinity. It is implied by Tannen that women use report style of talk to interact with others. Characteristics of report talk interacting. Seek to establish connection with others. Seek to establish conversation with others. Generally always listens to whomever carefully. Offers acknowledgments throughout their conversation. In a public setting, there is tendencies to speak less because they are more comfortable in a private setting. Ask a lot of questions. Sole purpose is to establish connection with others. According to Tannen, this style of interaction is more common among women. Characteristics of report interacting. Seeks to command attention. Seeks to convey information. Seeks to win arguments. Generally has competition, a competitive nature. Tells jokes and makes fun of each other to exemplify status. Does not offer any cues to indicate they are listening. In a public setting, tendencies to speak more often for a one-up effect. According to Tannen, the style of interaction is mostly common in men. I will now show you a brief clip from that 70s show using report talk, and I will ask you guys some questions following the video. That was the video. Tannen also describes private speaker compared to public speaker. The private speaker. Women talk more than men in private conversations. Women learn to involve others in their conversations. Women tend to express their desire for a community by telling stories about others. Tannen expresses the private speaker as more common in women than men. The public speaker. Men speak more in public arenas. Men use talk as a weapon. Young men learn to use communication to assert their own and draw attention to themselves. Men tell stories more than women do, especially jokes. Men also tell stories when they are heroes, often acting alone to overcome great obstacles. Tannen considers public speakers to be more in men than women. I will now show you a small clip from Married with Children as Al Bundy shows his inner public speaker. These are the traits of Genderlect. Listening. Women tend to hold eye contact, offer head nods, and react with yeah, uh-huh, right, or other responses when listening to the story. Would you guys agree, women? Thank you. Men versus men concerned with status avoids a submissive or one down stance. Would you guys agree, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Corporative overlap. A supportive interruption often meant to show agreement and solidarity with the speaker. Asking questions. Women ask questions to establish connections with others. Give their opinion and often tag it with a question. Tag questions. A short question at the end of a declarative statement often used by women to soften the string of potential disagreement or invite open, friendly dialogue. Tannen believes that women and men annoy each other with different ways of asking questions or not asking questions. For example, in the book, Tannen shows an example from when Harry met Sally, how they were driving to their destination and Harry was lost. And Sally was upset because she knew Harry was lost, but Harry, being a man, wanted to show his masculine status and deferred from asking questions to anybody at a gas station or anybody in the next car, and they ended up lost, which ended up in conflict, which we'll later talk about. But that's an example of how asking questions or not asking questions between women and men can differ. Conflict. Tannen states that life is a contest for men, and many men are comfortable with conflict, therefore less likely to hold themselves in check. Tannen also believes, to most women, conflict is a threat to connection to be avoided at all costs. Men have an early warning system that they are being told what to do. Basically, men are competitive and women try to avoid conflict at all costs, especially in a relationship. I disagree with that because, for example, my ex-girlfriend would always look for conflict. And I'm pretty sure many men in the audience would agree, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Women, would you guys agree? Okay. I disagree with some of Tannen's statements. It is suggested in the book that Tannen believes that women mostly speak in rapport, while men mostly speak in report. I disagree because I believe that everyone communicates just differently, despite their gender. Especially women. I feel like women are in competition with each other. Whether coming with makeup, hair, best dress, gossip. Women are always competitive with each other and want to be the best, in my opinion. But I also differ with their report. I also feel sometimes men seek connection with others. For example, within my friends are always asking me for sensitive subject advices, whether it's girlfriends, advice at work, basketball talk. It can be a sensitive subject too, and people seek connection that way among the group. I also disagree because a lot of my friends that are men show many characteristics of report talk, while a lot of my friends that are women show many characteristics of report. Tell jokes, make fun of each other. Bottom line, everyone, despite gender, communicates differently. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication, essentially, it is communication without words. Example, when there's conflict, women want to resolve and talk the problem out, and perhaps make love later. Versus men. Men want to make love first and talk it out later. Would you guys agree, man?
Absolutely.
Speech community. A community of people who share understandings about goals of communication, strategies for enacting their goals, and ways of interpreting communication. Tannen believes that Genderlect is traced from childhood. She wasn't alone. Many other linguists and communication scholars believe in it is true as well. The question is there a cure? Tannen says yes. Tannen believes that women and men can be taught to speak like each other. Women can learn to speak in a masculine voice. Men can be taught to talk in a feminine voice. The answer is for both men and women to try and take each other on their own terms rather than applying the standards of one group to the behavior of the other. Understanding style difference for what they are takes a sting out of them. I will now ask you 4 questions. Question 1. Do you agree with Tannen that women seek connection and men seek status? If so, if not, why? Do you believe that women avoid conflict because it is a threat to their connection? Why? As a man or woman, do you think you can be taught to talk like the opposite sex? And the last question, why is understanding Genderlect theory important to communication? I will now give you guys 20 minutes to answer these following